get ready for a game-changing journey. For centuries, we've believed that a great flood wiped out all life on Earth, and science thought there were no civilizations before it. But all of that went down the drain when the hidden city of Mohenjo-Daro was unearthed, turning our understanding of history upside down. Now, shocking secrets from this ancient metropolis are taking center stage, making everyone sit up and take notice. Let's dive in and uncover the truth about Mohenjo-Daro, the lost city that's rewriting history as we know it today. Meet R.D. Banerjee, a pioneering archaeologist who was one of the first to set foot in Mohenjo-Daro back in 1919. Fast forward to the early days when R.D. Banerjee first laid eyes on Mohenjo-Daro. He thought it was a Buddhist stupa built around 150–500 CE. But all that changed with one tiny but mighty discovery, a flint scraper. This simple yet powerful clue made Banerjee realize the site was much older than he initially thought, sparking bigger excavations led by K.N. Dixit in 2024 and John Marshall in 25. As the 1930s rolled around, Marshall and D took the reins, and together they dug deeper, quite literally. The excavation party just kept growing. After Marshall and D's big break in the 30s, K.N. Dixit and Ernest Mackey joined forces in the subsequent years. But it wasn't until Mortimer Wheeler and Ahmad Hassan Dani got to work in 1945 that things really picked up steam. Then, in 1964 and 65, George F. Dales took the lead, but unfortunately, their efforts were short-lived. The harsh weather had taken a toll on the exposed structures. They were literally crumbling before their eyes. In response, excavations at Mohenjo-Daro came to a halt after 65. But here's the thing. When they dug deeper, they risked losing Mohenjo-Daro forever. The authorities made the tough call it was better to preserve what was left rather than potentially damaging the site further. Since then, projects have shifted from digging up more secrets to safeguarding the ones already uncovered. Conservation efforts and surface surveys are now the norm, ensuring that future generations can still marvel at this ancient wonder. It wasn't until the 80s when German and Italian teams, led by Michael Janssen and Maurizio Tosi, brought in more subtle techniques like architectural documentation and localized probing, that archaeologists got another chance to uncover hidden secrets of Mohenjo-Daro without disturbing its fragile remains. And for decades after that, this treasure trove was left untouched, with researchers limited to studying the wealth of information already discovered. A bittersweet reminder of the delicate balance between exploration and preservation in the world of archaeology. Fast forward to the 21st century, and tech advancements brought new life to this archaeological gem. In 2015, Pakistan's National Fund for Mohenjo-Daro pulled off an incredible dry core drilling mission that gave us a sneak peek into what lies beneath. The results were astounding. It turns out Mohenjo-Daro might just be bigger than we thought. These cutting-edge excavations and studies have blown the lid off our understanding of the Indus Valley civilization, its bustling urban centers, and the city's jaw-dropping layout. What's even more mind-blowing? The city planners who built Mohenjo-Daro were total visionaries. Their grid-like streets and meticulously arranged buildings showcase a level of sophistication that still leaves us in awe today. Let's break down the building blocks of Mohenjo-Daro. Literally, the city's architects relied on fired and mortar brick as their go-to materials. But we also see some cool variations like sun-dried mud bricks and even wooden elements popping up here and there. Now, when you consider that this ancient metropolis stretched across a whopping 300 hectares, it's clear that we're not just talking about your average village. No way. Historical estimates put the population at around 40,000 strong, which, if you think about it, is actually pretty impressive for the era. To put it into perspective, this was like a megacity back in the day. The sheer scale of Mohenjo-Daro, combined with its awesome public amenities, paints an amazing picture of just how advanced and organized this civilization truly was. So let's dive into Mohenjo-Daro's city layout. It was divided into two main areas, the citadel and the lower city. The citadel stood out with its massive mud brick mound reaching an impressive 12 meters high. This was the epicenter of communal life, housing mind-blowing public facilities like grand assembly halls, sprawling residential complexes for up to 5,000 people, and even public baths. At the heart of it all, you'd find a vibrant marketplace revving around a massive central well, the hub of daily activities. Water management was on point too, with smaller wells serving individual homes or groups of houses, and an advanced drainage system keeping the streets clean. Some super wealthy homes even had fancy bathing rooms, while others showed off an underground furnace that could have been used for heated baths. Talk about living large. Let's take a peek inside Mohenjo-Daro's homes. They often had cozy courtyards with entrances leading out to side lanes, and some even boasted 2 stories. This really shows off how diverse and complex their architecture was. But hold up, because one building that caught Sir Mortimer Wheeler's attention way back in 1950 wasn't just a regular granary. It was actually an enormous storage facility for grains. Talk about massive. This structure had special sections within its huge wooden frame designed specifically to store grains, and it even came equipped with air ducts for drying. Wheeler thought that carts might have rolled directly into these storage bays from the nearby countryside, bringing in fresh supplies. And if you walk near this incredible grain storage, you'll stumble upon another iconic spot, the Great Bath, a mind-blowing wonder of its own. Get ready to dive into one of Mohenjo-Daro's most impressive features, the Great Bath. Picture this: a stunning courtyard with colonnaded walls, leading up to an enormous brick pool that's been lined with bitumen for maximum waterproofing. This massive pool measures 12 meters long, 7 meters wide, and a whopping 2.4 meters deep. It's no ordinary bathhouse. The mind-boggling size and design of the Great Bath have archaeologists thinking it might have played a huge role in spiritual or cleansing rituals. But that's not all. Mohenjo-Daro had some other show-stopping buildings too, like the Pillared Hall, which is believed to have been an assembly spot for gatherings, and the College Hall, a massive 78-room complex thought to be a residence for priests. And here's what really sets Mohenjo-Daro apart. Instead of building walls around their whole city like other Indus Valley sites did, they chose to focus on defensive measures like guard towers along the west side and fortifications in the south. Talk about smart urban planning. Let's put Mohenjo-Daro side by side with another Indus Valley superstar, Harappa. As it turns out, these 2 cities share some seriously similar blueprints, from architectural designs to a lack of those super strong fortifications we often see in other ancient sites. This uncanny similarity tells us that Mohenjo-Daro might have been more than just a city. It could have been an administrative powerhouse, working alongside Harappa. By ditching the thick walls for more open spaces, these cities show us they prioritized politics and governance over self-defense. But what's even cooler is getting a peek at the incredible skills of Mohenjo-Daro's ancient residents. Through the treasure trove of artifacts unearthed there, we're talking intricately carved statues, copper and stone tools, stylish seals, precision scales with matching weights, and jaw-dropping gold and jasper jewelry that screams sophistication. Check out these seriously skilled artisans at work in Mohenjo-Daro. They mastered the lost wax technique to create stunning bronze and copper masterpieces. Think figurines and bowls that would put modern artists to shame. This level of expertise shows just how far they'd taken their understanding of metallurgy and craftsmanship. Now, when it comes to metalworking, researchers found these 4 nuts at the site that point towards a focus on refining metals rather than digging up raw ones. Talk about efficiency. And it gets even more interesting. Mohenjo-Daro had its very own shell-working district, where specialists were busy crafting their shells into something truly unique. Lastly, those large platforms thought to be defenses. Some experts think they might have actually been designed to protect against flooding, not invaders who knew ancient city planning could be so clever. Sir Mortimer Wheeler had a major theory. He thought Mohenjo-Daro might have faced not 1 or 2, but 6 massive floods over time. This meant the city was rebuilt again and again in the same spot, with each new structure reflecting the lessons learned from previous disasters. You can actually see this history in the walls themselves. Some parts were built using older techniques, while others show newer methods. It's like looking at a timeline of the city's growth and resilience. And get this, initially, scientists thought that maybe it was just one final flood that buried the city under mud, forcing its people to leave for good. It sounds familiar because, well, history has shown us how powerful natural disasters can be. But what if Mohenjo-Daro had a more complex story? Fast forward to Gregory Purcell, who rocked the boat with a fresh theory. Instead of one giant flood, he suggested that Mohenjo-Daro's demise might have been due to a series of smaller, more frequent floods throughout the year. This steady drip drip of water could have taken a toll on the city, making it hard for its inhabitants to keep up with the demands of life there. Hassel's big idea was that it wasn't just the floods themselves, but also how the city's growth and expansion put too much strain on resources, a land for farming, pastures for animals, and materials for building. So, over time, Mohenjo-Daro slowly ran out of steam, becoming less and less sustainable until its people decided to pack up and leave. But here's the thing, if you think about it, a city as massive and impressive as this one couldn't just vanish into thin air. Where did everybody go? Now let's dive into some juicy possibilities. Did Mohenjo-Daro meet its match because of what was happening inside the city walls? Maybe power struggles, trade problems, or even economic downturns brought things to a grinding halt. Or perhaps it was external forces that dealt the final blow: foreign invasions, shifting trade routes, or something else entirely. And then there's the wild card. Could it be that the city was under some sort of supernatural curse? We've already talked about natural